How I quit weed. Right, here we go. Here's a fun one. We're really starting the YouTube journey now. So, yeah, I'm coming up on 1 year sobriety of weed right now. And, you know, it's funny because I really never thought I'd be able to quit weed. Really never thought. And it's been such a difficult journey, to say the least, because weed is such an insidious drug. Now, before I get into talking about weed, because a lot of it is going to be bad mouthing it, I personally think it should be legalized. And if it ever came down to it, if I had to be in a room full of drunk people and a room full of stoned people, I'm picking the stoned people every day of the week, every single day of the week, because I do believe that weed is one of those drugs that it's not causing anyone else harm by yourself. The only thing that people who are stoned really are probably going to do is that they're probably not going to do much in this world. They're going to take away more from this world than they're actually going to give to it, or they're just not going to engage in the world at all. That's the biggest thing about weed, you know, you don't engage with the world. You don't want to actually get involved with it. You're kind of just happy in your own little bubble, smoking, watching your silly little YouTube videos or whatever else, playing your Xbox, man, like eating your food. Like, life's just good when you're smoked, right? But life isn't good when you're not smoked, and that's the issue. So that's what I'm going to talk about. But as usual, we talk about my story first, and then we go into why I got sober, how I got sober, yada yada yada. So I first started smoking when I was maybe 19 years old, so I was late to the party. I didn't go near any type of substance until I was very late in my teens, man, and I'm very, very grateful for that as well, because I had a very addictive personality. I just didn't know it yet, and that could have been seen from me playing over 12 hours of Xbox a day when I was 13 years old, all the way till I was 21, 22, 23. Obviously, you don't see Xbox as something that's really bad for you, because it's just like what a lot of kids do these days. Like, I was that first generation of gamer that just went on and done it for hours upon hours, days for days, and look back now, it's like it was a bit of a sign or a cry for help, but you know, I was having a good time. I wasn't causing anybody any issues, bar the enemy team, by being better than them or saying things that would probably get me cancelled. But yeah, 19 years old when I started smoking, and I only really got into it when I was about 20, 21. So what I'm about to say here, I'm not blaming this person in any way, shape or form. I would have found myself towards weed at some point in my life. It's just that when you find someone else who smokes it, especially when you're in close proximity of them on a consistent basis, you're going to smoke a lot more. So yeah, my first girlfriend smoked a lot of weed. And at the start, like, I was cool with it because I'd already smoked a little bit, but it wasn't something that I was doing consistently. I wasn't doing it consistently. Like, maybe I was smoking once or twice every 2 or 3 months. But it was never something that I was doing on a consistent basis. Now, from being with her, we smoked a lot, because obviously she was smoking, I'd partially smoked, and it would start off very light. She'd have her own little joint, I'd take a couple of drags off of it. Then it started being where, instead of actually smoking a bit of her joint, she'd roll me a small one. And before you know it, I'm smoking my own ones, and yeah, there you go. Before you know it, you're smoking 1 or 2 a day. And that's how it went, man. That's how it went. And look, a lot of people in college are gonna smoke, man. And again, I don't have anything against it. I just think weed is such an insidious drug, because it creeps up on you. That's the best way to describe weed. It creeps up on you, and you don't know you're in a bad scenario until you're in a bad scenario when it comes to it. Just like most substances, you think you're having a bit of fun, and before you know it, like, you're comatose to the couch and you literally have not done anything with your life. And that's what weed did for me. So fast forward about a year and a half, myself and herself break up. The heartbroken teen, I decided to shave my head and just do what I was doing with her without her, and which was smoking. And that continued for months upon months, and then I actually went to J1 to San Diego, where I smoked a lot. San Diego, man. Yeah, man, San Diego was tough, because it was my first time being away from home. My attachment issues kind of came into play there as well. And the one thing that I had that was already a comfort from back home, that was also in San Diego, was weed. It's not that big of an issue regardless if you can keep it under control. Like, if you're the type of person that you're able to go off and smoke a small bit on a Saturday or a Sunday, like, you're chilling, like, you are in the perfect scenario. But if you're someone who has to do it every day, go to sleep every night doing it, you're cranky if you don't have it, your whole day, your whole life revolves going to work, doing what you need to do, getting home, and then that's like your reward factor, like that's your little bit of dopamine, then it's an issue. So yeah, we get back from San Diego, and yeah, it just got worse from there. It never really changed from there. At that point, I was off working in the students' union and stuff like that as well. Like, after work, I'd be smoking 3 a day, and like, they weren't small ones as well. It was 0.5 to 1 gram. I just was never really present when I smoked it, man. That's the thing about smoking weed. Like, you're never really around. You're there, like physically you're there, but mentally, like, I was thinking about like alpacas or some shit. I don't even know, man. I'd just be, I'd just be in my own little world. But again, as I say, when you smoke weed, you're not in people's faces. You're not a hindrance in their life unless they need something from you. The idea of like maybe if you're drinking alcohol, you tend to be a lot more in people's faces. You're a lot more chatty. You're a lot more kind of out there. When you're smoked, like the last thing you want is controversy or issues. You just want to chill at home. But then I started really seeing issues with the weed because I started getting very panicky and full of anxiety again. And I hadn't felt like that since I was in secondary school. So it was one of them things where I'd smoke my last one maybe 12 o'clock. And then as soon as I got up that next day, man, I was still so fucking stoned, bro. Like I wasn't, like I was on the stone over, as you call it. But like my eyes, like obviously like I've quite Asian eyes already, you know, part Chinese, whatever else. I'd be going to work like this, man. Like I'd be so bad. And like obviously I wouldn't be stoned, but the brain fog from it the next day, by the time I had 2 coffees and I kind of woke up a bit more, as 1 o'clock. And then I was going home in 4 hours time anyway. So I was only really there for 4 hours. And by the time I got back home, I was just smoking again. So I got 4 hours of my day that I was somewhat coherent, somewhat. I noticed my speech got very bad as well. And that's one of the things I'm still struggling with, because I used to be quite a good speaker. But since all the smoking and like my brain thinks very quickly, my mouth can't emulate me trying to speak. And you know, that's maybe one of them things where I just need to slow down my speech. I think as Irish people, regardless, we speak way too fast. But yeah, there's a lot of issues that started popping up, and I was like, right, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to smoke anymore. I just kept smoking. I couldn't kick the fucking itch. I couldn't get off it, man. It was so hard, because I'd related weed to my good days and my bad days at that point. So if I had a good day, I was like, let's turn this day up a bit more. Let's go home and smoke. Had a bad day, all right, let's go home. Let's smoke and make ourselves feel better. So it didn't matter if it was a good day. It didn't matter if it was a bad day. Like I was going to smoke regardless. And I was using this at this point to get over a lot of trauma. Being adopted, growing up, like a different skin color and stuff like that. And then obviously with my mom passing away, I didn't know I was doing this, but like I was really taking the piss with smoking. And it took me to a point where I was like, right, I really want to get off it. And then I couldn't get off it to realize, okay, yeah, you know what, I have a problem. What smoking weed does is as well, it completely fries your dopamine receptors. So instead of being able to kind of work hard for some good endorphins or a good bit of dopamine, you can go home and you can literally put your fingers together for 5 minutes, flip it, light one up, and before you know it, all your brain is lit up and you feel good. Until you feel paranoid that guards are coming for you or whatever else. Like the psychosis, you can get off some of that stuff as well. Very lucky to never have a blip where I went to a different place and never came back, because I have heard some seriously scary stories with weed psychosis. And it just depends on the batch, it depends on the person. But it's a dangerous game as well, because we don't know where we're getting our stuff from. People be saying, oh, this is OG Skywalker, or this is Cali Kush and all this stuff. Like, how do you know though? How do you know? And how do even the people who get the stuff in, the dealers, how do they know? They're being handed a bag that says this when it could be sprayed with fucking pesticide, man. I know stories of people who said they used to spray their stuff with speed because it would make it more addictive for people to come back to. You have to be quite careful, and that's why I'm so for the idea of legalizing it, because regardless, people are still going to smoke. You are not going to stop people from smoking just because you think it's bad. And the sooner this world realizes the war on drugs failed, the sooner we will be in a better place and people can actually start buying their stuff and not having to feel like criminals for it. Like even the fact that some people that I know as well, they got caught with like 0.8, 0.9 of a gram of weed, like, and they have records for that, man. They have records for that. Like, what in the lunacy even is that? You know, and then if anything, you're just going to shame people into doing it and just being more discreet about it. And it's just, look, you know, just let people do what they want to do, man. Just make it safe for them. Okay, you can't stop it. And if anything, with how the government works, regardless, you brothers want money. That's the only thing you care about. So why not legalize it, take the money from it, tax it like you do on everything fucking else in this world, and then you can enjoy it and everyone else can enjoy it and we all win. You know, what are you hiding from? I'll never get it. I will never get it. I think it's so... what do I know though? Here's a recovering addict saying all this stuff, you know, but I just think it's so stupid. So yeah, I was trying to get off it since I was 23, 22, and it took me till 26 to really be able to sink my teeth into it. And that's because I got into a place where like I was yeah, like it wasn't just weed anymore, it was everything. I needed to make a choice to myself. I was like, right, do I want to lose my life? Do I want to completely fry my brain, or do I want to come back and see what I can do in this world? And that's what I had to do. I just had to put it down. I put it down on August 12th, 2023. And now we are on, I don't know, July 13th, July 14th, 2024. So yeah, we're coming up on a year. I've rambled enough about my own story and my own opinions on it. Obviously, you're probably here to see how do you get sober. So look, how do you get sober? How I did it is probably going to be different to how you want to do it, but I just quit a cold turkey. And that's what I noticed with addictive personalities like myself. Like, I can't wean off things, okay? I either just go for it and bear the withdrawals and just push through, or I relapse. And that's what's going to happen a lot for me. And that might happen a lot for you. You're better off just seeing what suits yourself best. Trial and error. Like, if you quit the first time round and you make it, 100% fair play to you. I do believe that you need to relapse 4 or 5 times before you have a good idea on how to really attack this. Because like everything, as I said, it's trial and error. You need to see what works and what doesn't work. First couple of weeks, terrible. Absolutely terrible. No sleep. You get the bad dreams as well. I didn't really get too many bad dreams, man, but I was just so irritable and so angry. And I just also take into consideration as well, I wasn't just coming off that. I was coming off other stuff as well that I will talk about the whole story at some point, but I've bookmarked a podcast I want to go on and talk on it about, which is The Menace to Sobriety by Dapper Laugh. So look here, if anyone's watching this, you can reach out to Dapper and get me on that podcast. I'd be very happy to go on and really share my whole experience. But yeah, so it wasn't the only thing that was coming off. There's other stuff as well that I was trying to negate and get away from. Yeah, man, it's just painful, and you just need to do yourself a favor. Write down in your notes on your phone or a journal and tell yourself why you are doing this. What I did was as well, I recorded some videos of myself when I was in those states, and I will never show those videos to anybody in this world, not even my future girlfriend or my future partner, my future wife. Like, I would not even show her those videos because I was so distraught. But I needed those videos to go back to, because your brain is so good at forgetting why you're trying to do something. Like, you think about it, right? Every time you go out on a Saturday, you get absolutely lashed out of it. You're in bits and you're waking up the next day after coming back 5 o'clock in the morning, birds chirping, you're only waking up at 5 o'clock, you feel like absolute death. You get your Mackies and then you're just starting to feel better. Yeah, you know, you forget very quickly. It's very easy to forget how bad you were when you said, oh, I'm never doing that again, but then next week you're doing it again. You need to record yourself saying why you're no longer doing these things. You can't be a victim of it again. Don't let this brain fool you. It knows exactly what it's doing. Also, it needs to be your main focus. That can be a tough one as well, because a lot of times that you want to swap these things out with other things, you shouldn't. Find some good habits as well. Like, get training. With weed, you don't want to really make an effort for yourself. You don't want it at all. Find something to do that makes you feel good in yourself, that's healthy. Go to the gym, join back into some sports, you know, take up running. I don't know, figure something out, man. Like, I can't tell you exactly what to do because I don't know you. I don't know what you're into. All I know is that for me, I really wanted to get back into training, get back into the gym. I got back into jiu-jitsu. It was great. And I tore my ACL and I had to sit on the sidelines for another year, unfortunately. But then I just was like, you know what? If I'm going to be on the sidelines for this long, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to get jacked. I'm going to enjoy my life and get big again. Finally, just don't give up. Okay, don't give up. As I said, it's going to take a lot of attempts. If you're lucky enough to get on the first go, kudos to you. Proud of you. You know, fair play. You are one of the very lucky people who was able to do that. The majority of us, we're going to struggle a lot more when it comes to it. So just don't give up. And don't do it again on a Monday. I promise you, you are not going to do it again on a Monday. If you relapse on a Thursday, you start back on the Friday. If you do it on a Friday, you start on the Saturday. Stop giving yourself days upon days to go back and fuck yourself up again. And when you do that, you are sparking the dopamine receptor in your brain. When you mess up on a Tuesday and you say, oh, it's okay, I'll just start again on Monday, straight away your brain's like, oh, well done, here, dopamine, here's some dopamine for you doing absolutely nothing. All right, if you screw up on a Tuesday, you start again on a Wednesday. I can promise you, I have never gotten sober on a Monday. I have never gotten sober by starting again on a Monday. I can promise you that right now. So if you screw up, the next day you start again. Literally, even right there, start again, you know? Like, don't, like, say if you screw up and you smoke a joint at 3 o'clock, do not go off and smoke one at 6, 7 or 8. Just say, like, okay, I smoked one, that's me done. You start again. You start building back up the time. Be kind to yourself. I won't say be nice to yourself, because if you're nice to yourself, you tend to get walked over and you'll abuse yourself then. But be kind to yourself. If you do mess up, don't beat yourself up for it. As I said, you're probably going to relapse a lot of times doing this, and it's not going to be fun. It's going to be difficult. Just take your time with it. Take your time with it. Be kind to yourself, and just keep moving forward. Keep moving forward, and eventually you will get there. I can promise you. Because again, look, as I said, I never thought I'd get off it. I never thought I would. Someone used to smoke 3 a day. So yeah, don't give up on yourself. And finally, do I miss it? Yeah, I do. I really, really, really miss it, man. I miss it so much, bro. So much. It's the only substance I've ever found in my life that made me feel how I wanted to feel. As somebody who's always been up and down emotionally the whole time, I fantasize about it. I lust for it at times, but I know that I'm better off without it. Now, do I think I'll always be away from it? No, I don't think so. I think it comes to a point in my life where I get to where I need to be and I do what I need to do. I'll be able to control it and be able to sit down on a Sunday and be on my farm and just be chilling out and, you know, just watch the sunset, or just be in nature and just relax, man, and not abuse it. That's all I ever want to be able to do, not abuse it. Because I don't want to go back to alcohol. I don't want to go back to Class A's. I don't want to go back to anything bar that. But I need to be honest and be respectful of myself, that I'm not ready to go back to it. And as long as I'm working right now and doing what I'm doing, I won't be going back to it anytime soon. So yeah, maybe come a point where you want to go back to it, do. But just make sure you have all your ducks in a row first. Make sure your life is what you want it to be before you take that journey. Okay guys, thanks a million for tuning into this video. If you liked it, you can drop me a like and a subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.